Her heart broke anew with every step she took. It kept beating and kept breaking in a never-ending cycle. How long could it go on before it was too late? It had been like this ever since her mom left. Maybe longer. Maybe it had been her dad's disappearance such a long time ago that had caused that first crack, that first opening that had grown with time, and now exploded with every step. For how long could a heart keep breaking and still beat? Glimmer thought. She had left the party down in the hall. The celebrations had been going on for days, but she could only feel her heart, her hole, her void. Why did you have to leave? But despite all of it, the world somehow kept moving forward. The steps kept being taken, and she was pushed with it, heart and all. She arrived at the runestone, and the space was empty. She didn't expect anyone to come either. Not when the fete was going on downstairs. That's how she liked it. Not wanting to be disturbed. Not knowing how to share her broken heart with anyone. She put her hand against the cold stone and was reminded yet again that there was still life out there. Not everything was lost. She just didn't know how to bring that back into her own life. Did you used to do the same? Come here for answers after Dad disappeared? She didn't get an answer. But something flickered on the other side of the bridge, and she turned to look. It was a tail, disappearing behind the pillars. Catra. Flames rose within Glimmer. How did she dare to come here? To my place? She imagined the steps Catra took. And when she was almost out on the other side, Glimmer stepped out from the dimness of the runestone. Catra saw her the moment she was out. They stared at each other from a distance, frozen, like two animals measuring each other. Glimmer held her gaze, and Catra yielded, ears flat against the side of her head. How does she dare come when I'm here? But Catra turned away, shoulders sloped and eyes trailing the floor. She looked like a kitten trying to hide from a foe, Glimmer thought. The fire within her went out, drenched, and all she could see was a scared kitten, trying her best not to be seen. Catra, wait! Glimmer started to run along the banister leading around the bridge, and Catra froze mid-step. She still stood there when Glimmer arrived, with sinews tense as harpstrings running down her shoulders. I just wanted to see how you were, Glimmer stammered as she came to a halt. Catra lowered her foot to the ground, and her shoulders moved. But she kept her gaze low and didn't say a word. They stood in silence, and Glimmer imagined their heartbeats filling the void, the only thing that could be heard in the space. In the end, Glimmer got too uncomfortable and gestured towards a wooden bench behind them. Catra sat down, and Glimmer followed. Catra still hadn't said a word, and Glimmer felt her thoughts wandering to what they normally wandered to. Why did you leave? The hole within grew, as it always did whenever she thought of her mom. A hole that never truly filled, because what should have been there was gone. She heard someone talking, and realized that Catra had said something. Glimmer, do you hate me? Catra repeated. The hole within Glimmer exploded and became a raging storm. It threw her around, like a glove in a tornado. Don't ask me that, I don't know. Don't ask me questions I can't answer. Getting no answer, Catra stood up and began to walk away, but Glimmer reached for her wrist. No, wait, please. Catra stopped and turned, her gaze still trailing the tiles of the floor. Glimmer felt tears falling down her face, and she wiped them away. I just miss her so much. Catra's hanging ears turned backwards and she hissed. So hate me then. Glimmer backed away at the venom in her voice. Why? Why would I hate you? You'll feel better from it. The coldness in her voice made Glimmer cry again. But I cannot hate you. And she realized it was true. She couldn't hate Catra. But Catra didn't notice her change of mood and continued. I'm used to it. Everyone's always hated me. Glimmer looked at her, suddenly understanding what she'd been through, what her life had been about. No, it's not true. Adora didn't hate you. Adora left me. The tornado within parted, and a slippery path crystallized inside. Glimmer started to slide down, out of control. No, please. But it was too late. Catra's words had opened it up, and she fell helplessly into the unknown. She tumbled, desperately trying to hold on to something, but it all crumbled beneath her fingers. You hated her, didn't you? The words came from nowhere. But it all made sense to Glimmer. That's why Catra had done what she had done. You hated Adora for leaving you. Catra's ears fell to the side again, her toughness gone. No, she whispered. I didn't hate her. Glimmer's world started to crumble again, slipping underneath her fingertips. No. She stood up and screamed at Catra. So why did you do it then? Catra stared at her feet, and Glimmer could hear her whisper, to stop it. Stop what? The anger was slowly fading. But Glimmer tried to hold on to it, the only sane thing in a chaotic world. To stop the pain. I'm sorry. Catra untangled herself from Glimmer's grip and turned to walk away. Glimmer looked at her disappearing back, and suddenly the anger was gone. In its place was a clarity, a flow she'd never felt before. She reached out and put a hand on Catra's shoulder. No, wait, please. Catra stopped, then slowly turned. Her face glowed with surprise. No one had ever asked her to stay, Glimmer realized. The silence stretched out between them, until Glimmer took a deep breath and said, I forgive you. The surprise in Catra's face widened, until Glimmer could read hope and happiness there too. And she heard her whisper, But why? Tears flowed down Glimmer's face as she said, Because if I don't, I will do the same as you did.